Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hanging Out with Howie. We're doing the after party, I guess, kind of like a review sort of thing, recap of tonight's virtual training night, which featured, Jason Rubio, Jeremy Breck, Jonathan Simmons, and the feature speaker was Brendan Havrilla. So what did you think, John? I liked it.
I got a little bit more out of it than I thought I was going to. I figured it was going to be strategy and theory, but a lot of these people really did take some major life-changing steps over the last year and a half.
Right.
Really went some interesting directions. I was really surprised with some of the stories.
I was too. I got more than I thought. I thought it was just going to be that term they were using back during lockdown with we got to pivot. But these were actual things that they put into practice. And I got to say, one of the more interesting ones was, Jonathan, when he mentioned at the very end where he was implementing as much as he could. And then, hey, I have trucks. Well, let's put them to work. And so it started a trucking thing.
Anything that he was spending money on, he found a way to flip it and have it make money for him. He found a way to make it serve him instead of it just being an expense.
Yeah. And
pretty creative.
I got it. Yeah. Now the very first guy, Jason, mentioned about, hiring extra people. And then he had the list of pros and cons. And, that was very interesting. That, hey, more people, more problems, more logistics. It's just like, that kind of hit home for me.
Oh, for sure. Well, to diversify, when Jason was talking, he had said, he had the tools for streaming. He had a studio set up. He, did a lot of the video conferencing. We reinvented ourselves a lot during the time down. I mean, I figured most would be using the time to, change their advertising strategies, look at their equipment, tighten everything up. Well, after the first 6 months, then we needed something else to do. Because it just kept going. So for him specifically, just saying, taking what he has and finding another way to repurpose a lot of things. That was one of the notes I took on his was said to be creative.
Yeah, I enjoyed too that Jeremy Breck, he had, just reached out to the businesses to do block parties and things like that to generate income. And then, the featured speaker, Brandon, we knew him, from he was still in high school when he was hanging around. And then, for him to do the things that he's been doing, he was like, okay, all the events canceled and, okay, instead of making, DJ furniture and this and they had the plexiglass. And it's like, okay, let's make sneeze guards. That's brilliant. They needed them at the time. And so he was able to generate some income. How about you, Bill? What do you have anything on tonight's show? I saw you in the,
Yeah, unfortunately, in the middle of Jeremy's, my internet died.
So you country boys have it tough.
Yeah, I know. I mean, to be honest, from Jeremy's show, the thing I basically took away from that was that's Jeremy being Jeremy. I mean, he's always, got something new going on, and he has great resources. Yeah, and I'm not trying to slight any of this, but the one thing I took just from the very beginning was, as a single WAP, you have to take the things that they were suggesting. Like when I go back and watch the replay of this, as a single WAP, you kind of have to take a lot of the things they were suggesting and find a way to cram them down like a ball of tinfoil into something that can work just for what your resources will allow. And
right.
you know, like Jeremy with the flatbed trailer and the video screen. I mean, that was awesome. But
right.
if I were going to make something like that work, I would need to reach out to Jeremy to rent his flatbed trailer and video screen.
Yeah, that's not something. Version. Yeah, that's not something scalable for solo ops like ourselves. But he is a multi-op production company, so I could see where you look around at your stuff and like, hey, what can I do with it? Now Brian does that all the time. He had done that with like even old equipment. I remember that video from, oh my gosh, it was 4 or 5 years ago. You had that it was like a 5 lens type old ADJ fixture, and it's supposed to be hung from a truss, and he put it on the wall and leaned it up, and it was like, oh my gosh, that looks really cool. Like just look at this stuff, right? So I know you were busy. You missed the show tonight, Brian, but
yeah,
it was diversifying your DJ business. You're already diversified. Besides the DJing, so
yeah, well, a bit. I mean, just doing what I can to keep busy and to maybe engage others.
Mm-hmm.
But was it more about, was it, I'm sorry, because I missed it. Was it diversifying your DJ business, or was it?
Yes, diversifying your DJ business, tips and lessons.
Uh-huh.
And these actually, it was not a bad show, because it wasn't like, here's what you could do. It was things that they actually did during the lockdown.
Oh, so it was ideas during the lockdown for diversifying your DJ business.
Right. And now they're actually
putting them into
keeping
play.
that on. It's like, hey, wow, this is a success. Now things are open. Let's keep doing it,
Sorry for being late to the party, by the way.
Hey, you're fashionably late, because you have that je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. Yes. Yes. I don't know that I did anything particularly for myself to really diversify the DJ business during lockdown. I was just trying to engage everybody who was losing their minds. That's why we were here in the chill room. It was something to do.
Yeah.
A place to go and share ideas and get ideas. And I know a lot of times we'll have conversations in here, and I'll hear Bill mention something, and I'll be like, it's just not for me, but then I'll think on it for a week or so. And I think Bill said, maybe there's something to that. Maybe I was a little quick to judge. Maybe I ought to rethink this. And, I put some of those practices into play. Sometimes immediately it doesn't click as something that sounds like something I want to do, or something that sounds like something would work for me, but you put more thought into it, maybe.
Yeah. And I feel you on that. I really do, because we're different like that. Some people are very stubborn, where it's like, I'll listen, and you know what? It's okay to change your mind, change your opinion on something. It's okay.
It's not always sold right away. Sometimes it takes time, but it's like the shoe game stuff I'm doing. I mean, I'm thinking I don't want to do this, but the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking, hey, this would be a really good way to do it. And maybe this is the purpose of it. And maybe it has more value than I thought it did. Not that I am sold on suggesting this to my clients. I haven't gone that far, but I'm seeing more value in it, and I'm understanding it more. I've got a better understanding of what it's about than I did, I guess, before the weekend.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So my thing for, to staying on the topic for the evening about, I believe I've been very diverse, in my entertainment business, with teaching people DMX.
Yes.
Or even I've done lighting for DJs that don't have a rig, and they booked a real high-end thing and said, hey, look, I'm going to hire you as the light tech. I'm like, okay, fine. So, I weathered the storm okay with it. And,
Sure. And I think the positive, message was that it's not too late to start something else, so you don't have all your eggs in one basket all the time. Right. We're a little older. I mean, Whoopig's in his 30s. Brandon's he's 22, and he's already got a manufacturing plant and owns full-size golf courses.
Yeah,
that's a lot it's a lot on your plate for only being a couple of years out of college. Right. But for the rest of us to be able to teach, to use the time to have something else going on and just waiting for the phone to ring for a gig. You got to keep yourself busy.
Now, one of the big takeaways that I got from that show was that, hey, find a niche that you're really good at, and we all have that, and capitalize on that, and be the specialist in that sort of thing. And when you build that better mousetrap, so to speak, they'll come to you. I'm finding that with the DMX tutoring. Brian has his thing that people just come to him. So anybody else have any takeaways from the show tonight before we put a fork in it?
I'm going to add, kind of like you're saying, things that had already been in place. Even for a few years, I've been doing, the occasional AV job instead of a DJ job, or I find a way to turn a DJ job into a DJ/AV job. In the case of an event I just did on Thursday, it was the reverse. It started out as an AV job, but I said, hey, you're taking an hour and a half lunch break and you're doing an hour and a half networking cocktail hour at the end of the event when we play background music for it. Oh my gosh, yeah. Now I'm doing that same association's holiday party. So,
that's great.
But it is kind of finding a way to take the tools you already have, like Brian, like you said about Brian taking that light and finding a way to repurpose it. We have tools. It's just sometimes we have to find a new way or method of using them. The balloon festival I did, that kind of also came from just somebody saying, hey, would you be able to do music at one of these? And it was a small scale thing at that one. So I was just showing up to DJ, but then I said, you know what, we could do this, this, and this. And, now it's a huge major production thing. So, but it can, there's, I think taking what they all said that I was able to see of it, it's still the same theme. You find a way to either reinvent yourself or to specialize yourself, like with the niche thing. I mean, to me, my niche is weddings, but my side niche is probably corporate stuff. I don't want to do anything else, really. Unlike Brian, I'm not even brave enough to take on a school dance.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. We're eagerly awaiting the video.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Well, hey, guys, thank you so much. Everybody, we hope you enjoyed the evening.
Sorry, I'm late. Didn't study for the test, but I came.
He still gets a participation sticker.
Did it E for effort? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see you folks next week. Bye-bye.